Hey guys, today we're learning a little bit about the art of deduction, which is reaching a conclusion based on evidence with Sherlock Holmes, and learn a couple of new words. I believe this older version of Sherlock Holmes featuring Jeremy Brett was the quintessential Holmes. Quintessential is the first word of the day. It describes someone or something which perfectly embodies certain characteristics. This is my opinion. You might disagree, but regardless, quintessential is a good word to learn. Let's pronounce it together. Quintessential.
You do not propose to invest in South African securities.
How on earth do you know that?
Now confess, you are utterly taken aback.
You are utterly taken aback. You are completely surprised. When you are taken aback, you are stunned, you are startled, you are surprised. We tend to use this expression in the passive form, so to be plus the past participle.
I am.
I should make you sign a paper to that effect.
Why?
Because in a few minutes you will say it is all so absurdly simple.
In a few minutes, you will say that it's so absurdly simple. Now, I guess the pronunciation of this word depends on where you come from. I tend to say absurdly in American English, but perhaps in British English, it could be pronounced absurdly. Let me know if you are English.
I should say nothing of the kind.
You see, my dear Watson, it is not really difficult to construct a series of inferences.
It's not very difficult, says Sherlock Holmes, to construct, to put together, to build a series of inferences. And that's our next word of the lesson. An inference is a conclusion which is reached based on evidence. The verb form is infer, and that's also a good word for you to learn. It means to understand something, to glean something, usually indirectly.
Each dependent upon its predecessor.
Each dependent on its predecessor. So a series of conclusions, a series of inferences, each of which dependent on what comes before it.
And each simple in itself. If after doing so one simply knocks out the central inferences and presents one's audience with the starting point and the conclusion, one may produce a startling, though possibly a meretricious effect.
One might produce a startling, though a meretricious effect. And that's our next word of the lesson. Let's see if I can spell that word. It's a bit more advanced. Meretricious. Okay, meretricious. It means attractive, but deceptively so. It may produce a startling effect that may be apparently very attractive, but not quite valid. Meretricious, meretricious. It's an advanced word.
I can tell by an inspection of the groove between your left forefinger and thumb that you've decided not to invest your small capital in the goldfields.
Your small capital. So capital here refers to a sum of money that you have decided not to invest your money in blah, blah, blah.
I can see no connection.
Very likely not. But I can quickly give you a close connection. Here are the missing links in the very simple chain. You had chalk between your forefinger and thumb when you returned from the club last night. You put chalk there when you play billiards to ease the cue.
To ease the cue. Cue, guys, is the stick that is used to play pool, to play billiards. When you ease the cue using chalk, you make sure that the cue does not bother or does not hurt your fingers.
You never play billiards except with Thurston. Now, Thurston, you told me 4 weeks ago, had an option on some South African security which expired in a month and which he desired you to share with him. Your checkbook is locked in my drawer, and you have not asked for the key, so you do not propose to invest your money in that manner.
How absurdly simple.
Quite so. Every problem is absurdly simple when it is explained to you. Bum, 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 bum.
Holmes, why are you so cheerful? You're unemployed, you have no case to solve. Now, normally that produces black moods and the infernal lethargy of the cocaine bottle.
And the infernal lethargy of the cocaine bottle. So let's talk about the word lethargy, which means lacking energy, lacking verve, passion, enthusiasm. Pronounce this word lethargy. Infernal is an adjective which literally means related to hell, but in this case, it's used to emphasize the point that when Sherlock Holmes is in a dark mood, he resorts to taking cocaine, which causes fatigue and low mood. Anyways, I hope you've learned at least one word with my video.